Hi, everybody, in now, and here we are on another 100 Days broadcast. It's all about you, and this is all about you, the members of Now. And we all have businesses. We're maybe thinking about a business, or maybe wanting to change our businesses. Maybe we're sort of really in there, in depth in our businesses. And there are some members as well who don't have businesses, but they want to be a part of this group because it is a really lovely collective community of women. But if you want the confidence, either for your business or just for yourself, coming onto a Facebook Live or any kind of live on social media is the way to go. You agree, Susie, with
I
me?
certainly do. Yeah, there's nothing like going on Facebook Live to push your comfort zone.
Yes, and this is what this is what these 100 days are about. Because if you are afraid to come onto a Facebook Live, then come along with me, sit here with me,
Yeah.
and just talk to me. It's just like two women sitting talking about coffee, sitting with a cup of coffee, talking about whatever you want to talk about.
You want to talk about coffee? We can talk about coffee.
We can talk about coffee. So that's really what it is. It's just very light-hearted and fun. So today we have Suzy with us, and Suzy's come all the way from Inverness, where I've been a couple of times, and it's cold.
It is cold, but it's beautiful. So the landscape makes up for it. So it's very healing. I love the Highlands. I find it
Oh,
very restorative. So
yeah,
yeah.
because I mean, the way I go up through the Highlands to get to Inverness, and oh my goodness me, it's like coming home. It's beautiful.
Yes. That's what I feel. I've actually, because obviously my accent, I'm from Yorkshire originally, but I moved up to Scotland when I was 14. So I've been here 30 years and I've actually tried to leave Inverness several times. I've lived in Glasgow, I've lived in Edinburgh, I've gone traveling, and I always come back to the Highlands. Like you said, feel like I've come home. It feels very healing. So,
It is.
and lots of people have said about with my business, they're like, Suzy, you need to get out of the Highlands. And I'm just like, do you know what? I'm not going to sacrifice my health and well-being just to make my business bigger. It's, fundamentally, it's my own foundations that have to be right. So, and I
Yes.
firmly believe you don't have to be in London or the big cities to make a business work.
Not
So,
at all. And this brings us on to who you are and what you do. So do
yeah.
tell us.
So, well, as you said, I'm Suzy Beaumont. I'm a personal development consultant and I run Change Your World, which is a personal development and health and well-being organization. And yeah, I run coaching services, I run events and workshops, training, stress management training. And I bring lots of coaches, health and well-being experts, motivational speakers all together to share their story, to inspire people to make positive changes in their life. And my big passion is for every single person to take up a personal development plan, because I believe when we have a consistent personal development practice, we go to work on ourselves, we start to know who we are, go on a self-discovery journey, we start to think better. When we think better, we make better choices. And when we make better choices, we get better results. And that's when our world starts to change. So if every single person in the world was to go on a self-improvement journey, then the ripple effect of that is massive. We organically change the world in the process. So the whole ethos about Change Your World is changing the world through the power of personal development. So creating a new life.
And is this just online, or are you doing events anymore, or
Yeah, well,
how do you do that?
I started. That was very much the main focus. I started with one conference. I had no concept that I was going to set up a big movement or a business or anything like that. I literally was I'd been feeling very disillusioned in my job for a number of years, and decided, I was looking for alternative things that I could do. What else could I do? I was a radio producer with BBC Scotland. I'd been there 18 years. It was a great job and it was a fun job. And, I got to speak to lots of really interesting people. I mean, it gave me access to pick up the phone to anybody and say, hi, I'm Suzy from the BBC. Can I talk to you about this? And I would get to learn about all kinds of amazing subjects and amazing people. So that was hard to give up, but there was a lot of things that were starting to dissatisfy me. I was outgrowing the job, and I was looking for something else to do. And I thought, what are my skill sets? I thought, what are my transferable skills? I was like, what the hell does a radio producer, what use is that in the outside world? And I started realizing, so I'd read somewhere that said, when you're trying to work out what to do, create a new passion for yourself, a new job or a career, is to write a list of all the things you're good at, what your skills are, ask your friends, what are my qualities, what am I good at, ask your boss, ask different people, and then work out what you're passionate about and try and merge the two. So I realized that, I was very good at great organizational skills, communication skills. I could get people on side, that kind of thing. I had a whole network of people that I knew that were trying to make a difference in the world, but they were doing it tirelessly on their own. And I started to think, well, what could happen if I could get them in a room together? What could we create together? And then I started realizing, I'm passionate about personal development. I'm passionate about making a difference in the world, improving it and helping people. I thought, I will use my skills as a radio producer, putting on shows, because that's what I do. And I will put on a conference, a health and wellbeing conference. I was like, how hard can it be?
Why not?
Well, it's what I found out. So, but that's how I started. I was working, still doing the day job, and I put on a conference for 200 people in Inverness, where everybody told me it wouldn't work. I had to go to the big cities and what have you. And I had, a whole day of incredible speakers that came up to the Highlands for the first time. And like I say, absolutely exhausted myself in the process, but, suddenly found myself on this journey of building a website, coming up with a logo, a brand, a name, emails, all these things that I had no idea, marketing, had no concept of, but started learning. I just put one foot in front of the other, and the momentum took over. And that was it. I literally thought I was doing one conference and then I would just return to work. But I got such incredible feedback that everyone was like, oh, you must do this again. You must do it again. And yeah, so one conference led to two, to three, and then eventually I had to take the plunge and left. But my work has evolved. I do the events. I've done the big events. I've done smaller workshops. I still do smaller workshops. I do the stress management training. But from that evolved the online coaching program, Change Your World Every Day. And that's because I recognize these events are great, and they certainly are a place to plant seeds and get started and to be inspired. But I recognize that they weren't having the ripple effect or the impact that I wanted to have on people. And it was essentially, these events became like, it was like going to the gym once and expecting to be fit and healthy. And I was like, okay, this is not, even though I'm getting amazing feedback, there was only a minority of the attendees would make the changes they'd be meaning to make. And some would make small changes, but not the changes they really wanted to make or needed to make to really enhance their health and well-being. I thought, okay, let's take all the elements that are working. So the motivational speakers, the inspiration, the community that comes from these events when people gather together and they're like-minded and they're encouraging each other. And let's take it online and let's do it every day. So I basically set up Change Your World Every Day, which is a private online coaching group. And from Monday to Friday, we invite different coaches and health and wellbeing experts to coach for 20 to 30 minutes each day. First thing in the morning to get you in the right mindset for the day. You can watch live or on replay, because not everybody can watch live. But yeah, and that's what we're doing. And we've been seeing some incredible changes in the group and the members. And yeah, it's exciting. I'm proud of it. I am very proud of it. So
it is. I mean, I'm proud of the fact that you can actually get up in the morning and do a Facebook Live every single day.
Well, to be fair, I don't do the Facebook Live. So the way I've done it, I invite the coaches to come on and they coach
Oh,
into the group. So I don't have to do it. No, I still have to be up and I still have to make sure, and I still up at 6 every day going, hi, you all set for today? Is there anything you need me
oh,
to do? So, but
oh my
I'd
goodness.
already got into that habit anyway. So, but yeah, it did dawn on me sort of a year in. I was like, wow, I am never having a lion again. So yeah, my weekends are very precious to me now. So
Oh my goodness me, yes, I can well imagine that. But it's a fabulous, fabulous, fabulous idea. So if someone, they're here, they're listening to you, and let's say they don't, they're not sure about the membership yet, like what's happening, can they come on board for a little while, just see what it's like?
yeah, absolutely. We have a 2 week free trial, so 14 days you can get access to the group just to check it out. See, I mean, it is very interactive, but you can be a lurker and just watch the videos, the broadcast, or you can be, I mean, obviously, the more you put in, the more you get out of it, but you can do all the work behind the scenes just watching the videos. So they can try it out for 2 weeks, get access to, I mean, at the moment, we've got over 30 coaches, so, and we're just constantly introducing new coaches, new topics, and just, I mean, I respond accordingly to what comes up for the members. Because I did start this year, I was like, 2020, the year of clear vision, the year everyone's going to wake up, and I had it all mapped out. And then we did one topic on recognition, and that just opened up all kinds of wounds and triggers, and it was like that led on to a month onto self-worth. So now I just adapt accordingly to see what the members require and what they need. And yeah, I mean, it's essentially going back to radio production again, and doing what I used to do, but in a very positive way, and being able to influence people and support people in a way that I wasn't able to do when I worked in the BBC. So yeah, but
It
it's
sounds
great.
wonderful. I'm just playing, my microphone is playing up, I don't know if, there we go, it's settled now.
Uh,
So thank you, Susie. That was absolutely fascinating. One thing, if what could I, as a person, do today to feel more confident, more in control?
the one thing I would say is that you have to get to know yourself better. And in order to feel confident, you have to know what your values are. Because what makes us not feel confidence when we're going out in alignment with our values. We feel anxiety, we feel frustrated, we feel anger, we feel guilt when we're out of alignment with our values. But we often don't recognize what our values are and when they're being conflicted. So it's almost like writing a 10 commandments list for yourself, not going down the religious route, but think about, what are my values? What is my belief system? Why do I have that? And am I living my life in accordance to those values? The other thing, which is a really quick and effective thing to do, is to ask yourself, what brings me joy? And write a list of the things, what brings you joy, and then write a list of how much time you spend doing them. Because lifting, I'm all about filling your life up with joy so that it squeezes out the things that don't serve you. And that when you're doing things that fill your life up with joy and are true to your values and true to your nature, that gives you more confidence. Just being more in alignment with your true authentic self. You'll never be more
Mm,
confident when living in alignment with that. So yeah, write a
absolutely.
list of what brings
Yeah,
you joy and how much time you spend doing them. And if you're not spending a lot of time doing them, then redress the balance and
I
start,
need to do that.
yeah,
Yeah,
start filling
that's
your
what
life up with those things and
that's what I'm
that,
going to start and do.
yeah,
Absolutely. Yeah. Thank you so much, Susie. There's lots and lots of information there, and certainly something I can get cracking on just right this very minute. What am I doing today that brings me joy? So I'm
yeah,
on that one.
yeah,
Let
definitely.
me ask you the question that we ask. It's different questions for everyone at the end. Is what do you do? What do you like to do on a rainy day?
What I like to do on a rainy day and what I do on a rainy day are often different, because the business is busy and it's picking up. But what if I had no responsibilities and I was free to do whatever I wanted on a rainy day, I would throw on my running kit, make sure I was warm and cozy, had all my gloves and hat on, and I would go running in Culloden Woods, which is the woods just beside me, and just feel the rain on my skin, energize, be like a kid again. I mean, when you say about what brings you joy, for me, it's playing again, and I don't get to do that as much as I like. And that is just something simple that energizes me. I mean, I don't have to run far, it's just a mile, and just there's something about running in the rain that is just uh, really kicks in all the senses, makes you feel alive, and it just makes you feel childlike again, just splashing in puddles and running through the mud and
Oh my
not
goodness.
caring. So
Wonderful
yeah,
thing. So that's what we all need to do. We need to get
yeah,
ourselves out in the rain. If you don't run, then you can walk. Just wrap up.
yeah,
And if it brings you joy, do it every day because
yeah.
we have rain almost every day.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, one of the things I'll quickly tell you a story where this came from. I was traveling with my friend in South America, and we went to this beach, Lago Grey, it was called. And honestly, we couldn't even stand up. The wind was it was just blowing us over. It was so horizontal, but and it was lashing with rain. We were absolutely soaked, freezing cold, and
Mm,
it was just invigorating. It was so amazing. And I remember just thinking at the time, just having this notion, don't think it, feel it. And I've always kind of lived with this now that, the head often takes over from the heart. And it's, if I can remember to keep in that zone and not get taken over by life, just don't think it, feel it,
just
and
yeah, yeah.
really tune into what's going on, and what your body is telling you, these aches and pains, and it's telling you, it's calling for change. So
Absolutely, yes.
yeah,
So, what a wonderful way to end this broadcast
you're welcome.
in the word of joy. So, thank you,
No
Suzy.
worries, you're welcome. It was a pleasure. Thank you for
Fascinating.
having me on.
No, it's my pleasure to have you here and to bring that word joy into my life, to remember it.
Yeah.
So, I'm going to say goodbye to everybody in the Now group, and I'll catch you again tomorrow. Bye for
Take care.
now.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.